Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. I have a feeling, I know Kirk's here, I have a kind of a funny feeling, you know how they do like a skit, some of you may not know, at the demotion debunking. I have a feeling because I start early every week that somehow might play a part in that skit. I don't know. But I just get too excited. What can I say? May is Small Business Recognition Month for the Rotary Club of Las Vegas, and we are proud to celebrate the entrepreneurs and small business owners who are the backbone of our local economy. The President-elect's fundraiser provided a platform for local small businesses to showcase their products and services, connect with fellow Rotarians, and gain visibility among some new audience. My name is Janice Lenke, and I am so proud to be your 103rd president for another month. Don't be clapping because you can't wait. Don't be clapping because you can't wait. Okay, I'm going to invite Don Holland up to do the invocation. And I saw that he had this really cool shirt on, which is keeping with our patriotic fundraiser theme. Do you want it on here?
Please bow your heads. Almighty and eternal God, we come to you with humble hearts. We ask for your protection for our country and your mercy and your justice. Heavenly Father, we see pain, suffering, and injustice around the world. Yet you have given us eyes to see what is wrong and hearts to do what is right. We also ask that you lead us out of our comfort zones to help other people and the strength to be a force for good. We praise you and thank you for grateful hearts and all that you give us. And we thank you for this Rotary Club and every Rotarian as we seek to be kind even when it's difficult and to do good work even when it is a struggle. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Oh, you're doing songs too, right? Don's doing songs.
Hello again. Back during the Civil War in 1861, there was a popular song that was sung by Union troops, although it was actually originally written by a Confederate. Union troops changed the words, and it was called John Brown's Body. John Brown was a famous abolitionist. And there was a woman named Julia Howe, and her pastor encouraged her to write new lyrics, and she thought and thought, and nothing came to mind. And she was sleeping, and she had a dream, and in the middle of the night she woke up and she started scribbling the lyrics. And so I'll read you her notes from her memoir. I awoke the next morning in the gray of the early dawn to try and to my astonishment found that the wished-for lyrics were arranging themselves in my brain. I lay quite still until the last verse had completed itself in my thoughts, then hastily arose, saying to myself, I shall lose this if I don't write it down immediately. I began to scrawl the lyrics without looking. Having completed this, I lay down again and fell asleep. But I had the feeling that something of importance had happened to me. That song is what we're going to sing today, the Battle Hymn of the Republic. By the way, she sold the rights to that song to Atlantic Magazine for the whopping sum of $5. And so the total American war dead in the Civil War, between 700 and 750,000 Americans. So we remember them and honor them as we approach Memorial Day. So Battle Hymn of the Republic. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He has trampled out vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. His truth is marching on. Okay, we'll glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
Next, over to past President Karen Wisenhunt, who is our Sergeant of Arms, and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank yous today. I would like to thank Bob Warner, Lynn Ng, and Dr. Kathy Mahon for setup. Our greeters today were Susan Wheeler and Harrison Freed, I believe. Ticket sales, joint effort, Linda Peterson, Deb Howard, and Martha Garcia. Photographer was Vicky Mastretta. Scribe, Erica Brandeberry is stepping in to do scribe because there's nothing that girl can't do, so thank you. AV team, Stu Lipoff, thanks for putting up with us. Teardown, Michael Williams, Dr. Michael Williams, and I would love for someone to help him with teardown, and I know so many people always chime in to do that. International guests, we were expecting someone, past President Steve Linder. Okay.
I just got a short update from Murray. He's home, he's feeling good, and he is wishing for the Golden Knights to get the Stanley.
For those in the room who don't know who Murray is, who's Murray?
Murray Flagel is our part-time Rotarian in Las Vegas, and
He lives where?
usually he lives in Calgary, and he had a house here, but he sold it. Now he's going to rent. I says, let's just come over to my house. I got plenty of room.
I'm sure it's nice. I want him to rent it to me. Okay, do we have visiting Rotarians today? Don't think we do. Okay, on to guest of Rotarians. I know we have quite a few.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. These are actually guests of President Janice that I have the honor and pleasure of sitting with. We have a husband and wife, but I have to get the right page so I get everything correct. We have Valerie Snedeker and Chris Davidson. They own the His and Her estate sales. I also got one quick little fun thing. This gentleman owns the Elvis Museum, runs the Elvis. Oh, he sold it. He did have it. Now he doesn't. And he also has a magazine that he publishes, boats, speedboats. So welcome.
And selfish plug, we have booths at the Antique Mall of America. So find me if you want, but come out to Antique Mall of America. It is on Las Vegas Boulevard near South Point, and Chris and Valerie always have tremendous collectibles, etc., and furniture and books. So I know there's some book buffs in here, so I'm doing a selfish plug. Okay, other guests or Rotarians?
Oh, you guys are making my job easy today.
I thought we had more guests of Rotarians. Okay, I'm delirious. Next,
Guest of the club.
I don't know that we. Rosalie has what? Rosalie, you have a guess? Okay, I don't see your hand up. Find that woman.
Okay, we got George is visiting again, and he is circulating for membership, so hopefully he won't be a visitor much longer. Welcome, George.
Hello, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce my colleague, John Whitehead, one of our specialty people in our small business department, and he's been with the bank for just about as long as I have or longer, so an experienced credit person.
Welcome. Okay, I don't believe we have guest of the club today, past President Karen Wisenhunt, so we're going to hop on over to the head table because I like to see you go back and forth. Okay, so at the head table, past President Steve Casey has joined us. I also have Branton Blount with us. And our speaker is Christopher Fenton. And Christopher, do you mind I could either have your guest introduce himself, but sometimes we don't get to hear enough about, what you do, why they're here with you. So please.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda Malzagati, and I work in the Public Affairs Division over at Harry Reid International, so I'm here to support this today.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is David Eclipse. I'm the Airport Business Outreach for Harry Reid International Airport. I do DBE certifications for small businesses for Clark County.
And that's so appropriate with our theme this month. And then you'll hear from our speaker when he's properly introduced today. So thank you for that. We're going to go right into announcements. Do you want to give the microphone to that guy you've been joined at the hip with?
My Rotary husband.
How you doing there, wife?
Oh, no. Get ready.
Greg McGuire. Good afternoon, Rotarians. So before we get going on the first announcement, you'll see that there's this annual document up there on the table, and this is your pledge form. So as we get ready to start the new year, we are going to have new opportunities for pledge forms. Sean sent out a email this morning that everybody should have gotten about the direction we're going and what we're doing. So if you have any questions on anything in the email from this morning, of course, hit me up. Janice told me to let you know that we will have grief counselors available because she's going to be leaving here and turning it over here shortly.
I was so thrilled to see the letterhead with our incoming president with me listed as the immediate past president. I went, yes!
Did it! Not quite.
Did it.
Okay, so if you pick up your wheel and you look at on the back there, I'm going to just kind of give a summation of our community day in the park that we just did, and what a hit! I mean, just walking in here today, so many people coming up to me saying, "Wow, that was just so much fun!" And everybody that showed up, that came out to help us set up on Saturday, set up and break down on Sunday. That some reason or Saturday. We set up on Friday and then set up and broke down on Saturday. For some reason, the breakdown on Saturday went really quick. Like people wanted to get out of there, all right? So a lot of people, Anil, thank you so much for that wonderful food. I mean, everybody is just still talking about how great that breakfast was. So great job by you and your crew. And honestly, I don't think I've met a politer group of kids than the people that you had, helping us out and serving the food and everything. So well done. Okay. The Boy Scouts also. I saw Todd here. The Boy Scouts were out at the park. One of them won not the toga. What was
The
it?
dance contest.
Twist and shout. Right. That was an audible that we pulled in.
They were amazing. They were everywhere.
Thanks again for the sponsors and volunteers. If you look on your back, 32 sponsors. 12 craft tables, 51 volunteers. We sold 258 tickets, not too shabby for putting our first event together. And that resulted in a lot of people showing up. Carrie was able to bring in 21 big kids, big brothers, big sisters. We had a whole bunch of different people there. It's just going to get bigger and bigger. Dr. Kathy Mahan was just telling me about how Santa Fe Rotary does a pancake breakfast, and they have 10 to 12,000 people at that, right? So, Neil, we're going to have to work on that food line. All right, you got it? All right. We had an interesting opportunity to give away some Rotary books, and President Janice was able to get up there and sign a whole bunch of them. So thanks for volunteering to do that, President Janice. $9,500 worth of in-kind donations. That's a lot. That's people stepping up in the club that were doing stuff and volunteering their time to make that happen. Now we put a survey out. And we got some. Here's some of the answers we got back. For the most part, everybody was super happy with this event. But there was a couple of people. One guy wrote, "Hey, we should do this earlier in the morning." Another one said it in honor of our guest speaker. Can we get a Blue Angel flyby for the next one? That would be really cool. Here's this one. Would have been better if we had it in Miami. Okay, I don't know who did that one. And the last one, more ballads, less Leonard Skinnerd. So I think that was Mike Ballard, actually, to put that one in. So anyway, gross income $35,700, net income $21,000. It's going directly to our foundation. Great job by everybody. We're going to do it again and do it even better next time. Anything else?
No, I need to leave time for the speaker, but thank you
Okay.
so much.
All right.
That was great recap, you guys. Congratulations. Can we go ahead and give the microphone to Randall Brody, please?
Upcoming May 29th through June 4th, we have an incoming group of Rotarians from India that will be visiting Las Vegas as part of our friendship exchange. If you're interested in participating in any of the activities with the itinerary, volunteering, please give me a call or send me an email. Thank you.
Thank you. Randall, you have been just doing such a great job of managing all the details. There is so much involved. Thank you. I don't know who's sitting where. Susan, where are you? There's Susan. Yay, you knew that. Yeah. Oh my God, everybody in Patriotic Colors Day. I didn't get a memo.
Hello, fellow Rotarians and guests. Yes, we have one service project yet for June. It's an official annual service project, which is Aviators Night Out with our active duty service members from Creech and Nellis Air Force bases. And we will need people to help us set up a tent and to distribute the sandwiches to the active duty service members. And we're hoping that if you can't make the whole time, at least you can make a shift. So a shift at 5, a shift at 6, and then the game starts at 7:05. And of course, any Rotarian is welcome to go to the game. At this time, you have to purchase your own tickets. We'll find out what happens when we see how many service members show up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and that's June 5th.
Birthday.
It's Janice's birthday.
And Tom Probe and okay. We're going to take the microphone over to past President Kirk Alexander, I do believe. Don't put your hands up. You were on the email. You were on the email.
Aaron's trying to give me a hint. I have no idea what you want to hear from me about.
It would be on that email I sent
Other-
out this week
other-
with all the announcements that needed to be made. Thank you so much.
Other than we plan to demote you on the 25th of June. We've applauded you and made you feel like you've done great work all year. And you have, but your time is coming. And the end is near. As you said, it's only a month away. So there is a party planned, and there's some more details yet to follow on exactly what kind of participation we'll expect from our crowd. But we should have a whole lot of fun.
There's
Thank you.
alcohol, right? Is there alcohol? Yes, please. There's
I've
alcohol.
heard that Janice will be all washed out.
I'm ready for you guys. I'm ready. Short hair makes it so easy. Okay, the last 3 announcements are me. So, on behalf of the 25 Club officers, we have selected June 17th. That will be our 25 Club graduation. We have 2 or 3, I think 3 members who are graduating off the 25 Club. So it's graduation and social, location to be determined. I'm going to help Kathy find a nice lounge, bar, something to that effect, nice environment. I had you sit down too fast. June 17th. I need you in 1 second. Also, this Saturday, a lot of us will be up at 4:35 in the morning, driving to California to attend District Assembly. And at District Assembly, not only is there educational components with our new incoming District Governor, Dennis, there's also, this is when we find out the awards that are being distributed throughout the club, so we get to celebrate. Also, Tony, past President Tony Kern, who is an AG, shared with us that they invited us to go ahead and have a vendor table, or if you're going and you want to have a table for your business, it's a little bit late notice, but they've opened this up. But we're going to celebrate the fundraiser that President, what's his name? President-elect Greg McGuire, and past President Karen Wisenhunt put together, and we're going to theme out a table with all that great stuff because we're still celebrating. And then, can you take the microphone? I'm going to put her on the spot again. Martha Garcia. Girl's going to stop coming because of me. So, Martha, we had some slides last week. If you guys know, she was our Rotary Proud member last month because she is someone who is a true Rotarian, service above self. She shows up, she supports other clubs, and we don't have the slide today, we're going to have it next week, but it was pictures of you at Superbuild. And that is fairly new. We've been trying to promote it as much as possible, but do you mind sharing this experience that you went to Mexico and you helped build a house for a family in need?
Sure. It was my first experience, and it was really interesting because we got to build a complete house in one day. So, and it was nice to see the family who was there supporting us. They provided us with lunch and water, so we could keep working, basically. But it was nice to see the family and how grateful we were that we were there and provided them with a key. But it was just amazing how everybody working together, it came together, and the house looked like a house when we left. So it was very
Thank you for, you know, we didn't realize that you were going because you just do it. You just show up. So when I saw the photos and heard you were there, we just needed to, you know, it was well worth the trip, wasn't it? Well, thank you. Thanks for all that you do. Next, we are going to do, I'm trying to make sure we have some fellowship time. We haven't had that in a while. But let's go ahead and have that guy come back around, President-elect Greg McGuire. Can you kind of come up here to the podium? Gosh, what am I asking for? Yes, I'm giving you the microphone again.
You know, I should have said this earlier, but if we could all give Karen a round of applause for all the work that she did for our fundraiser. She said I was not allowed to bring it up during that announcement, so I didn't, but now I am. So, yes, with that, I'd like to ask Julie Murray to come up for the Moonridge Group. She's the CEO of the Moonridge Group. And she's the local Las Vegas representative for Project One Drop. If you all remember, we do a Wine to Water event twice a year. And this last time we raised over $3,000, and we figure we find a charity related to water that we're going to donate those funds to. And that charity this year is Project One Drop. So Julie, maybe you could say a little bit about what you do.
Good afternoon. 20 years ago, a group started the Smith Center. Don Snyder, Keith Bowman, and others. 20 years ago, Eric Hilton and I started the 3 Square Food Bank. And relative to this group, 20 years ago, Guy La Liberté, founder of Cirque du Soleil, started the One Drop Foundation. That was the year of launching new projects. Guy brings social circus arts around the world. He traveled the world and saw that water was the common challenge in every community. So what you'll find when you travel abroad in different countries, especially third world countries, are social circus arts, teaching someone that if they're bathing, you don't bathe down low and drink that water. I mean, just simple things about where to build a well and how to take care of your water. And since there's a language barrier, it's through social circus arts that they can communicate with the villages and the people there. One Drop has a local and a global presence here in Las Vegas. You all are invited to join us for the Walk for Water, October 10 at the Springs Preserve. And we also have One Night for One Drop that's every year in March around World Water Day. So thank you, thank you, thank you for the Wine to Water event. You will make a significant impact with the funds provided, and I'll get that check over to the One Drop Foundation office here, and I know that they'll be so grateful. Janice, thank you.
All right, you heard it. Put it on your calendar. Back to the Springs Preserve on October 10th at night and in the daytime, 8 a.m. That's like 2 hours after we started, so you get to sleep in that day. Okay, we have a check here for Project One Drop for the amount of $3,478.45. I'm not sure where the 45 cents came from, but we'll take it, right? And the committee was Debbie and Liz Rothwell and Melanie. Yep. Thank you so much. And Randy. Okay, thank you so much. That was fantastic. Yep.
Thank you. All right, next we have an induction. So I am going to ask, who am I asking to come up here? My goodness, Dave Thorson, he's here. As soon as he walks in. Okay, I'm gonna give him a minute to breathe. I'm gonna invite Dr. Kathy Mahon, and just Dr. Kathy Mahon, please, to the front.
Hi, I'm here for the Valedictorian Luncheon Committee and the Education Committee, and we have a gift for Sean. Sean, if you want to come on up. We want to thank Sean because our Valedictorian Luncheon this year went really fast and really well and smoothly. It was fabulous because of Sean's new ideas. So this is for you, a gift from our committee, and it's from Santa Fe, where the best gifts come from, of course, because I'm from there. But anyway.
I'm thinking I should give 5 minutes of fellowship so David can get, he's going to help with our induction. So Marcus, hang tight, and let's go ahead and have a little fellowship at the table. When you say fellowship, everybody gets quiet. They like to talk when there's actually stuff going on up here. Please, fellowship. Okay, I'm going to invite past President Dave Thorson, Bob Warner, and Marcus. It's your time to shine, buddy.
Well, the second time around is okay. Marcus Boney is a countryman of mine. He is from Thurgau, which is northern part of Switzerland. I am a little further down. I'm from Zurich. And so we are able to talk our language together, which is kind of nice. And he was a farmer in Switzerland. He studied agriculture, and then he decided, you know, America is the place to be. And he came over and went back to school, became a businessman, and then found out that the best way to make money in Las Vegas is real estate. But I think he was in California before that. But anyhow, we're very honored to have him part of our group, and he will be a good contributor. And here is Marcus. He's going to have to get in front of that microphone.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see everybody again. Yeah, so I came here. I grew up in Switzerland and did the basic education, like Bob said. I did an apprenticeship in agriculture, then the mandatory military service, and then I came over here to travel, and which prompted me to come back with a student visa and study here. And while I was doing that, I got my MBA in USC in LA, and I met my wife. I met my wife, and I'm still here. We are celebrating our 40th anniversary this summer. And yeah, so we built, my first endeavor here was in the action sports industry from the early 90s to 2015. I was building with a big team of people. We built brands in the snowboarding and skateboarding industry. Some of the brands we sold to Burton. One brand I'm still holding on to, and I license it, so I don't actually do the work anymore, but I just collect royalties. And that's when I decided to get into real estate. And I'm a licensed realtor here in Nevada and in California. I also, in the last 6 years, I wrote 2 books. One is about my business lessons I learned, Winners Never Quit. And the other one is called No Degree, ? No Problem. It's for you guys that have kids that are like in high school or younger or don't know what to do, or even grandkids. It talks about the alternative education that's available right now in this country. I mean, I grew up in a country where 2/3 of the young people go and do an apprenticeship after 9 years of school instead of going to high school and to the university. And once they come out of the apprenticeship, they can support themselves financially and have no debt, no student debt. So I wrote that book for these folks, and that just published in December. The second one, the No Degree, No Problem, and I narrated it, and it should be coming out on Audible maybe next month or so. So if you have any questions about that, you can go to marcusbohi.com, and everything is available there. So that's about it. Thank you.
Okay, so the fact that he's a USC alum makes me wonder if we should do this induction, but we'll proceed anyway. Fellow Rotarians, it's my distinct honor to induct Marcus Bohi as a new member today to our club. Las Vegas Rotary Club has accepted you, Marcus, as a person of good character with high ethical standards with a heart for service. We each should exemplify and bring to Rotary the very best in our businesses or professions and take back to our businesses or professions the best of Rotary, which we feel is the ideal of unselfish service and the four-way test. Rotary brings together leaders from all continents, obviously, cultures and occupations to exchange ideas and take action to improve communities around the world. We're an organization committed to using our connections, experience, and skills to work together to create lasting change. Rotary uses the diverse perspectives of our 1.2 million members to solve the world's most challenging problems, including a lot of the work that our club does right here in Las Vegas. It's a real pleasure for me then, on behalf of all the members of this club, to formally welcome you into our midst. It is our sincere hope that your membership in Rotary will be one of the most pleasant experiences in your life. We extend to you a sincere and hearty welcome to the Worldwide Fellowship of Rotary. I'd like everybody to stand up and welcome the newest member of Rotary in the world, Marcus.
And I am so sorry. I was reluctant to introduce Antoinette Monroe, one of our co-chairs for membership. So thank you, everyone. Okay, are we ready to do the raffle? No? You're going to go buy more tickets? Too late. Okay, for a chance, the pot, I think, is like roughly 3,400 plus whatever we took in today. Chance to pull the joker to win half the pot. Ticket number 4696103. Okay, if you pull it, you're responsible for gas, and I'll drive Saturday, okay? Okay, is that fair? Is that fair? Okay. Go, Susan. Wait, there's a card there. We're going to get rid of that one because it was flipped. A two. It was a two. Oh, can we rip? And the Lowry Bucks, 4695957. I heard a yes. Goldstein, Mr. Goldstein. I don't know, you travel so much. You sure going to be in town to use these? They don't have Lowry's where you go. I think, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much time they have left on them. That's a Sean question. Okay. Next, you know we always spotlight a member, and this week in your wheel, because it's Small Business Month, Tina Bishop showcased several small business owners, so congratulations. We know there are many more for being featured, and thank you for doing that. Almost President Greg McGuire, I need you again. It's time for the surprise and delight. Don't everybody jump up at once. First one to come up to the podium, that's all. Greg, get up here. First one to the podium, please. It's Anil.
Okay, so you see on the screen there, this is, remember Adrian College, Siena Heights, that whole story? Well, this was their, remember we talked about they were shutting down, and they, after 100 some odd years of being a college in Siena Heights, St. Rose, well, that's a picture of their guest speaker. So who was it, Bill Murray. Bill Murray, you win the golf.
Why is he winning golf
balls? Because Caddyshack. That's why.
And he is an avid golfer.
And he is an avid golfer. Oh, you're an avid golfer, too. You are today. Good job. Sure, yeah. By the way, since I got the mic.
Oh, no.
I just happened to go. Don's song, great song, but I didn't know those verses because we all sang a different version during school. Do you guys remember that? It's amazing that we're still alive. My eyes have seen the glory of the burning of the school. We have tortured all the teachers. We have broken every rule. We have broken all the windows. We have burned all the books. We have flushed the mean old principal into the swimming pool. And I just can't believe it. This is what we used to sing. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Teacher hit me with a ruler. I hid behind the door with a loaded 44. And my teacher don't teach no more. So, Don, that's what we were singing back then.
Okay. If we don't have time for question and answers today, Greg will be getting a big fine next week. Get ready. Get ready. Everybody meet you in the bar before the meetings when his year starts. All right, with that, are you ready to come up, Branton, and introduce our speaker? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. I look forward to the air of informality that Greg is going to bring here, without a doubt. It's my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Mr. Chris Fenton, who serves as the Managing Director of Aviation Planning for Clark County Department of Aviation, where he leads planning for the Southern Nevada Supplemental Airport, oversees modernization of Harry Reid International, and guides the long-term development across 4 general aviation airports in Southern Nevada. He is a licensed architect in Nevada and Arizona. He holds a degree from Wentworth Institute of Technology in Boston, as well as at UNLV. He brings more than 15 years of airport experience, project experience, excuse me, including the D Gates expansion, the T3 International Gates, and a pedestrian tunnel connecting Terminal 3 to the D Gates. I have a bone to pick with you about that tunnel. After a long red eye, there are not nearly enough restrooms in that tunnel. And he previously led the design team that managed over 100 airport projects at more than $1.3 billion of investment. So it is our honor to have you here as our speaker, Mr. Fenton.
All right. Here we go. All right, thanks very much for that. And actually on the restroom thing, the CVP wouldn't let us put any other restrooms in there. It was actually a rule. Anyway, thank you guys for your time here today. I know we have about 20 minutes, so I'll go through some of this a little bit fast. Just want to give a little bit of background about the airport itself. Obviously, as Branton mentioned, it's an airport system. We really have we have 5 total airports, of course, Harry Reid being the flagship one. The other general aviation airports help as reliever airports or help serve the community around, so it's one big system. When we have some of our major events, these come to extremely useful for us as well. Of course, our goal is to maximize the airspace, and that's what some of our improvements are going to be doing, is going to be maximizing the ground area, but of course, it's about airspace as well. So with the history of the airport, let's see, I went too far. There we go. So the history of the airport itself, you guys know, it's been around for a long time. 1948 is when McCarran Field first became an airport, and then McCarran International was named in 1968. And then with the D Gates opening in 1998, that was one of our bigger expansions. Moving forward with that, since one of the more recent ones we've seen, which is Terminal 3, our last big project up until the one's coming up soon. And then, of course, renaming the airport to Harry Reid in 2021. So with Harry Reid's involvement with our airport was very instrumental. And then just about the airport in general, we're still the 5th busiest airport in the world by aircraft movements, and 8th busiest in the world in terms of North America as far as passenger traffic. And we have 2 sets of parallel runways, so we really are kind of constrained on how many flights we can have coming in and out based upon our runways, and that's what talks about some of our future stuff coming up. And we have about 109 gates in total with the 2 different terminals we have. Obviously on the international side, we still have a pretty good international service, 137 routes, 17 international routes, 137 domestic routes and 17 international, 154 total routes. So essentially our international traffic has been increasing quite a bit. Terminal 3 helped with that expansion, and of course with the tunnel we just talked about, that helped with additional gates on the international side. There we go. So then it talks about some of the international flights we have coming in and out of Las Vegas. But one of the key things about the airport itself is that it's essentially a self-supporting enterprise fund. So we really don't function off of the taxes from the local community. Most of our improvements we function through fees collected from the aircraft, airlines, revenue we have coming through the airport. So really it's self-supporting, and then we use those funds for our improvements, which we'll talk about in a minute. But of course, we have other income streams as well. But we actually do our best to maximize grants with the airfield area. We have the passenger finance charges, facility charges, airport improvement grants we just mentioned, and other limited term grants. We do have some, for instance, like electrification of some of our components, like general service equipment. We're looking at electrically powered systems for that, so improvements. We get some grants for those things as well. So we have a lot of different income streams to help out with the airport and help with our improvements coming up. And the airport itself does have a lot of strong impact with the community, servicing the community itself. We have about $28 billion with local impact, and 47% of all our visitors coming to Las Vegas come from the airport. So we take that very seriously. I mean, we're the gateway to and from Las Vegas from outside communities. And the airport itself, we have about 18,000 employees, but in terms of the Clark County Department of Aviation, we're about 1,600. So this takes into account all the tenants, concessions, and other components that help service the airport as well. And of course, we have a lot of key partnerships, a lot of different agencies that work with us. We have Metro, we've got CBP, TSA, RTC, Las Vegas Convention and Visit Authority. So a lot of different groups that get engaged with us as far as helping with the airport itself. And one of the nice things at the airport we have, it's really one of our key element of the airport that helps us out quite a bit is with the TSA. We're actually one of the only places that has an innovation checkpoint where we try a lot of the new technology that TSA brings out. We get to go ahead and try that for the first time at Las Vegas when it finally hits with the public. So that helps us as far as getting a lot of the latest equipment too. It's very helpful. And of course, as I mentioned before, being the gateway to Las Vegas, the first and last look. And so with a lot of our improvements coming up, we're looking at enhancing our Terminal 1 area and make some improvements with Terminal 3. So it's very, very important for the gateway in and out of Las Vegas. Step on this one. There we go. And, based upon our travel, the amount of passenger traffic, of course, it's been steadily increasing throughout the years. You can see here based on this chart that obviously had a big run up until the recession. Then, of course, COVID had its drop. You can see that the main takeaway from here is that we're still growing at a steady rate. After COVID, you can see that we rebounded pretty fast. And again, we're still climbing forward. And that's what our improvements are based upon, a projection of that growth. It's just making sure we still meet that demand. And as you know, being in Las Vegas, there are a lot more sport events, a lot more activity happening. We have passenger traffic increasing quite a bit. Obviously, Formula One, we've got Super Bowl, different events coming through. So it's really been quite a huge improvement for the airport. And a lot of our major events, we're finding that a lot of our general aviation airports, the smaller airports, are helping us quite a bit by helping get some of that, being a reliever to Harry Reid International, getting some of those aircraft to other locations that help us with increasing our airspace, helping maximizing our airspace. And right here you can see after some of our events, you see the fixed base operators with private jets at other locations. So it definitely helps us out quite a bit to have that whole system I mentioned at the beginning. And you can see here with the four general aviation airports helping to serve the community, but also helping with Harry Reid International. So with that, the big part that we're coming from to talk about today is really about the future plans for the airport itself. So we're looking at a maximization over at LAS. Harry Reid International is always going to be our flagship airport. That's the one we're going to be focusing on. But we do still need, with that airspace limitations, we do still need future airspace as well, which we're looking at Southern Nevada Supplemental. And we're looking at how we're going to connect those two together. But with the maximization of the LAS airport, we've really just got those 4 runways to work with. We can land about a plane a minute, but we get to a certain point, then that's going to eventually be exceeded. And that's where with the Southern Nevada Supplemental, assisting with that, we're going to have 2 more runways down south. And again, right now, that's an environmental impact statement situation. It's going through environmental approvals now, so we're hopeful it gets approved, but again, it's what we're looking at for the future. But as far as for the airport itself at LAS, we are looking at a Terminal 1 replacement, so it's a phase replacement. And the first step in doing that is to make space for that growth to happen. The old Terminal 2 site, which was just north of Terminal 1, we're going to be building into that area. And right now, that space is being utilized for remain overnight parking. So when the when the aircraft land and unload passengers, we pull them off of the gate so that they can go ahead and the next flight can come in. We have to park them someplace. So in order to give them more space, the remain overnight parking, if we build in that location, we've got to build more remain overnight parking. So this first area here shows north of the fuel tanks. We are looking at, for that build out, we're going to be doing a remain overnight aircraft parking location. One thing that helped us out a lot is working closely with the Clark County Public Works. There was a storm drainage basin right about in the middle of that pink area there that has since, they've been able to help us relocate that and put that off-site. So that's going to give us nice direct access to the runway. So that's another area that we can open up for this future expansion. So right now with this location for the Northeast Ramp, we're looking at the overnight parking that can go to that location, sort of create that empty chair for the new work. This kind of gives kind of an overview of what Terminal 1 will eventually be like. It's going to be a multi-phase project, probably 3 or 4 phases. But you can see here in the dark gray is the new, but the light gray stays. So if you know what the public parking garage is today, that's going to stay in place. When you walk out through the garage and you cross over the bridge, we call it Esplanade, that's all going to stay in place too. Baggage handling is going to stay. Once you get up to about Terminal 1 ticketing, that's where that area is eventually going to be all changed out in a phase replacement. So that's the dark gray area there. The wings themselves, you want it for orientation, the upper right one, that's where the sea gates is. Chances are the sea gates will stay for quite some time, but we're looking at, eventually it could be changed out, but the other gates are going to be built sort of around it. We would start in the sort of upper left, that would be our phase 1, phase 0. That's going to be where the remain overnight parking is today. And then we're going to work our way around from sort of the new gates that will be built next to A gates. Then the A gates get demolished. We built new gates there, demolish those, and work our way around. So the whole goal is, as mentioned before, with the events that we have here in Las Vegas, we've got to stay active, we've got to stay open. So we're doing our best to stay as gate neutral as we can, build the gates first, demolish a set, build the next set of gates, demolish the next set, and build our way through. And we'll also be doing new baggage handling and also looking at new ticketing up front too. So in order to do that work, one of the key things we need to do is to open up sort of some space to let that happen. We want to make some improvements to Terminal 3. The Terminal 3 will be eventually renaming it to Terminal 2, but the first thing we need to do is help improve that throughput. So we're looking at, the Terminal 3 serves about half of the D gates right now. We're looking at the ability to increase Terminal 3's interior optimization to go ahead and handle more aircraft, more passenger traffic to serve the entire D gates. So what the goal is, we're going to be improving the ticketing area, we're going to be improving the baggage handling, sort of placing it in place, and then we're going to be linking the two baggage handling nodes. It's like a sort of east node and a west node that handle the different traffic for baggage handling. We're going to link those two to allow some flexibility. And we're also going to be, with improving the ticketing, we're also going to be improving the security checkpoint throughput. And we're going to be using that by some of that innovation checkpoint I mentioned earlier. We've been working with the TSA. We're going to use some of that location to go ahead and service more passenger throughput. So with that, we create sort of a little bit of openings at Terminal 1 that allow the Terminal 1 work to occur. So this just talks about some of the interior improvements. We're going to be streamlining the inside of T3. Right now, the ticket counters are in sort of a U-shaped space. We're going to make them more linear, like Terminal 1. Helps us with passenger queuing when there's a backlog that we can go ahead and service people. Has a better location, better flow. So we're going to be revisiting how that happens. We've got that kind of roughed out. And this just shows some of that ticketing improvement. Be adding about 30 more ticketing stations to Terminal 2 for that throughput. And also, like I said, baggage handling improvements that'll help for reliability, resiliency, and flexibility. But with the improvements at Terminal 3, we also do need to link the roads between them better. Right now, if you're going back and forth to Terminal 3, you realize that there's the connectivity roadway-wise isn't always the best. It has a couple of stoplights, doesn't really work quite as streamlined as we'd like. So by putting more traffic over to Terminal 3, we've got to get a better linkage to it. To do that, we're doing more of a sort of a counterclockwise rotation. Right now, everybody has to head through the south side between Terminal 1 and Terminal 3, and there's some stoplights there. We call that area like a single point urban interchange. But with this option here, we're looking at 3 different flyovers. One of them will be coming in from the north side from Tropicana. You'll be able to go right to the airport to Terminal 3 with a clean flyover and miss that stoplight. There'll still be one stoplight up a little bit further up to help meter the traffic, but it won't be a series of stoplights. So we'll be able to control it better. Then coming out of Terminal 3, we're looking at a direct pathway that you can go south through the tunnel, again with no stoplights. The whole thing with the airport is to not back up any of the cars. You want to make sure that when they're leaving, they've got a smooth flow out that helps everybody else come back in with everybody going out smoothly. And then, of course, linking Terminal 3 and Terminal 1 better. we want to make sure we have a flyover that goes right. If you go right from Terminal 3, you can get right to Terminal 1 and loop back, and that's a whole counterclockwise motion. So we're going to be taking what will be the single point urban interchange section, cross section here. The top shows kind of what's happening today, but the bottom shows that everything's going to be a single flow. Again, not much stoplight there, so we're trying to get that circular flow through. So not only are we improving the passenger flow, but also the vehicular flow. So, but then of course, some of the future plans, as looking at how best to connect to Southern Nevada Supplemental, we're looking at how best to connect the community. We are looking at a north multimodal center and a south multimodal center. So we've already got some land to the south. We're going to be doing some future expansions there and linkages through the tunnel, but also from the north one, better connectivity to the community, other modes of transportation that can link up to it so we have a better connectivity and better throughput. And then this slide here talks about Southern Nevada Supplemental Airport. And as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a smaller airport than LAS. LAS will always, Harry Airport will always be our flagship, but this will be a supplemental to the main airport. But it provides us, much needed airspace. As I mentioned before, the throughput to and from LAS has depended with the amount of airspace we're allotted. About a plane a minute where we're at right now with the maximum. This allows that future expansion. So right now we are in the environmental impact phase, impact statement phase, which is the NEPA environmental review. And so we're looking at, we're targeting a record of decision with the FAA, our joint lead agencies, with BLM, for May of 2028. So about 2 years from now is we're hoping to get a decision on whether we can move forward or not with the airport from an environmental standpoint. But we do look at it as a critical component long term, again, for that airspace to make sure we can keep on servicing Las Vegas appropriately. We have two with other options. We are kind of landlocked at LAS. We can't really expand any more runways. So we're kind of, doing what we can with the maximization, help improving the space. But again, it's an airspace problem as well as for future expansion. And with that, right now you see the orange on the screen. That's 6,000 acres with also a area around it. It's also designated for help for the airport as well, and then a transportation utility corridor that connects to it. And the target for that is in 2037, we're looking at the first phase to be open as the target, and that would be a smaller version of the terminal, but the runways would be in place to go ahead and begin helping to assist with that flow. We're looking at 2033, 2034, we're looking at, we'll start to see some constrained airspace, constrained with the amount of passengers we'll be servicing at LAS, and that need will be a lot more known at that time. So with the environmental, hopefully we have a positive decision at that point to move forward. That'll give us a lot more options to help keep continuously servicing the Las Vegas community. And of course, we have to make sure we're always servicing the community to the best of our ability. We have a lot of big events coming up. We already had Super Bowl, Formula One. We have another Super Bowl coming up, so there's a lot coming through. So from us, from the airport standpoint, we're always looking at how best we service the community. We never want to be the reason why the community can't grow. We always make sure we have the ability to go ahead and bring the passengers in as they want to come in to visit and help support our community. So again, just a quick summary. I mean, the modernization of LAS Harry Airport is to give a better concessions, better flow, better throughput, and also a better gateway for our community to and from Las Vegas. Maximizing the passenger flow, the vehicular flow, the aircraft movements on the airfield. We're doing improvements right now for those as well, sort of enabling projects leading up to these bigger improvements. Terminal 1 being the oldest facility is the one we're focusing on right now. Phase replacement, trying to do our best to go ahead and bring the later technology in, better concessions, better gateway to and from Las Vegas. And we're making the roadway improvements and also enhancing and expanding or helping to increase the throughput to Terminal 3 as well. So again, sort of a landside passenger flow improvements, but also planning for the future when airspace becomes more constricted, looking at Southern Nevada Supplemental down the road. And that's kind of the quick summary of where we're at. So.
Well, thank you for this. I wonder if you could say a word about the ground transportation changes. I know the Boring Company is planning to provide something there. Is that going to be a very significant capacity? How does what they're going to provide compare to the rideshare and taxi? I just don't know individual cars, whether it's going to make a lot of difference, or is it planning to?
Yeah, thank you, Stu. No, it's a good question. Yeah, as far as the boarding company, they are coordinating with us to look at options for delivering passengers to and from Terminal 1 and Terminal 3. Like I said, it's still limited to 3 or 4 people per vehicle at the moment. I don't foresee it being a huge improvement, a huge throughput. It'll be another option. We always want more options, more flexibility. So we're definitely open to that. I mean, we want to have as many options as we can to and from the airport for throughput. But I don't, as far as a massive improvement or a massive throughput, I don't foresee it being very big, but every little bit helps. And we're very congested, and we're trying to make sure we're making major improvements. But yeah, you are correct. We definitely are open to it, and we'll have other options too, as far as different rideshare programs, Zooks and others that are servicing the airport. So again, we're open to all kinds of connectivity to and from to get better connection to the airport. But we obviously it's about the passengers and flow, whatever option we can do for that. Good question.
Over here.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much for your presentation. It was fantastic. Having considered modernization and improvements, I know that rideshare, that whole thing got improved in Terminal 1.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to move to a more civilized passenger pickup as opposed to 2 lanes and people can't even get anywhere and the people, yeah.
Oh, passenger pickup. Yes, actually, we're looking at some options. We do have, we're looking at sort of a north multimodal area. We're still finalizing the location of that, but that would be help with some of our passenger pickup. One of the key things we're trying to do is to sort of deconflict some of the Uber and Lyft TNC. We're trying to get those better linked to our baggage handling building. So one of our enabling projects we're looking at doing is to move our taxi location to the front of the baggage handling building, looking at bringing our TNC, which we call would be Uber and Lyft, to the other side, and then we have a per capita, which is a shuttle bus service. We're trying to get them clustered more around our baggage handling building to free up some of the garage area to allow for better throughput there as well.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for the improvement of the airport. When I came from France here on the 60s, there was one runway and one little red pink building that was the whole airport.
Yep.
And of course, I'm a pilot, and I've been a pilot for 45 years. And my airplane was parked in North Las Vegas all those years. Anyway, because it becomes so difficult. I used to land at McCarran all the time, and now it's almost impossible to land there.
The question?
The question is, are you making it any easier for the private airplanes?
Yes. Well, in terms of at LAS, we are trying at Harry Reid Airport. We're trying to maximize that space. So we are trying to give better alternatives. We still do land private aircraft on our west side of our area, west side of the airfield. We have a lot of our general aviation, but we're doing our best to enhance Henderson Executive Airport, but also North Las Vegas Airport. We have some master plan improvements, runway extensions we're looking at. So we have big plans for the general aviation around the airport, again, to maximize that space. We're runway constrained, so we're trying to get the larger aircraft in to help service the community better. But we also want to give very good opportunity and alternatives to the other private pilots as well. So that's our hope, is that the other airports are enhanced enough to service to the best of our ability. You're welcome.
Thanks for your presentation today. Curious about the airport, proposed airport by Gene. Is that going to be for passenger traffic, or is that where the commercial traffic is going to move? And if it is passenger, is there going to be some sort of a rail connection up to the city or something like that?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Right now we're looking at it as a holistic airport. It won't just be cargo. It could be all commercial and cargo combined, similar to LAS, just a smaller version. Right now we do have a transportation utility corridor set up between good ways in from Las Vegas down to Gene. We are investigating options for how best to link them. We don't have anything specifically determined at this point, but we're looking at future plans. We have the capacity to do it. We've got the throughput. So we're looking at maintaining that clear pathway to it. We have a few options, but the first thing, of course, getting it built, getting operational, and then look at the throughput. But yeah, eventually, as we mentioned, the kind of the North Campus and South Campus, or LAS and Southern Valley Supplemental, there will be a linkage between them at some point, as far as I can tell. But it's, yeah, there will be some sort of linkage at some point.
Thanks for being here. I worked for Western Airlines back in the 60s, and we were landlocked then.
Yes. Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
And Howard Hughes offered to our commissioners to trade McCarran for Ivanpah. He was going to do a supersonic with everything, and we got turned down.
Oh. Okay.
So ever since those days, we were just limping along, little of here, little of there.
Yeah. Hopefully we do both.
Hopefully we got a guy that can move this along.
Hopefully, yeah. Well, at least we'll have both, right? Hopefully we'll have Ivanpah, Southern Valley Supplemental, and LAS for the throughput that we need. So I guess if you have one or the other, why not have both, right? So if we can.
Mr. Fenton, thanks
Yes.
for being here. I'm a Metro volunteer at the airport.
Excellent. Okay.
Enjoy it. I just want to reiterate again, because they've heard this before, that it's very professional at the airport. Everybody's very professional.
Thank you.
And you're ahead of the game usually on most things. And I would also like to say, from the TSA point of view, because I've done a little work with the TSA, that it may look like the DMV, but it's deadly serious. You just take it from me. I do have a comment. We still get, I'm always at Terminal 1 or the D gates. We still get way too many people that should be going to the Terminal 3.
Yes.
And they take the wrong train. And I think it's the stores you have there that block the Terminal 3 as they're coming down the red train as they're coming down the escalator.
Okay.
So anyways, I'm just letting you know that we still get a lot of people that are in the wrong terminal.
Yeah.
And they have to take the bus.
Yes. Well, the good thing is, we do know there's got to be some signage improvements. One of the things I forgot to mention, we are looking at, with some of the signage components, looking at renaming Terminal 3 to eventually to call it Terminal 2, and then relook at some of the signage to get better passenger flow. But I also think some of the roadway improvements will help direct people to the right terminal on day one. But between terminals, we'll actually have better signage as well. So, good observation. It's the airport essentially grew organically over time, right? You look at all the additions that happened, and so I think this is our first real chance to get a good kind of clean sweep and sort of clean up a lot of these things that we've had over the years. Brenton?
Somewhat in line with what you just answered, but as you improve the concourses and the terminals, are you going to increase the transportation between terminals? I'm always surprised how hard it is to transit between the two, especially as a local, where you're forced into another terminal's parking garage, and then your luggage comes one place and you're on a shuttle in the basement with kids at 11 o'clock at night, because there's no monorail just constantly running like most airports. And I was just curious about that as you do the improvements.
Yep. I mean, the way we're attacking that, we're still going to keep the same trams between C and D, and then Terminal 3 and D, but primarily with D gates serviced out of two different terminals. That's where a lot of the confusion is. If you land at D gates, you've got two options. Now, our goal is to try to get D gates serviced primarily out of T3. So if you land at D, you go to T3 to keep it clean. But there'll still be linkages between T3 and Terminal 1, but it will still be through the two different trams. We're just hoping that we reduce the need to go between them from a passenger standpoint.
Sir, thanks for being here. At the risk of giving me the mic for the 5th time today, Brant and I were talking before, and we're giving it Small Business Month, and you're going to help us start this. We're just wondering, do you have any of those big yellow Airbuses laying around that we could potentially do something with, like Holy Spirit Airlines, Spirits? But seriously, just curious, what was the impact of Spirit Airlines shutting down and all the employees over there? Thank you.
Yeah. Well, again, the airlines, we don't necessarily, we lease space to them. We don't really get, we don't run how they operate. But we know that with Spirit Airlines, with their tapering off on their throughput, a lot of our other air carriers have helped pick up that load. So they were servicing about, I think, 2 million passengers a year. I think we picked up over half that load with other airlines. So again, and I think the other airlines helped with the closure as well to get people back to their home. But it's slowed us up a little bit, but if anything, it's allowed other opportunities for other air travel to go ahead and pick up that load. So I think we've done pretty well with that. It's helped out quite a bit, and the airlines have done a great job of stepping up to help out as well. But again, it also, on the Terminal 1 side, it helps us, we have to shift around a few gates and everything, but it's been working okay. So thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I understand that the golf course on Las Vegas Boulevard and the property that was Fry's is owned by the airport?
Yes.
I believe I just heard within the last week that a major airport is going to be testing remote access to the airport. So check in away from the airport and then somehow securely be transferred to the terminals. I can't imagine a better location than the golf course in Fry's for a project like that. Has anything been considered to try to offload the passenger capacity from the strip side or from south of the airport?
Not in that capacity. I know that, I think it was Boston Logan is looking at doing that right now. I think Framingham has a remote check-in that's probably 45 minutes outside of town, half an hour out of town. We don't have that looking at currently. Really, our main constraint at the moment is really our airspace. Which we're looking at enhancing the terminals as around it to help service what our airspace can handle. But if we do come to a point in future where the passenger flow hits a point that we look at other options, we definitely will look at other options. But it's interesting to see. I'm actually be curious how it works out for Boston Logan Airport with that remote check-in. It's a pretty interesting component. But we do have some options. Now, as far as the golf course area, that area is in our runway protection zone, so we can't really build much in that location. That's why it's a golf course on day one. So, but other locations, the question really is more about remote check-in. I don't think we're looking at it quite yet, but we're definitely watching what other airports are doing and seeing if that option could work its way into what we have in the future.
Thank you so much, Christopher. Before you walk away, we have made a donation to the Just One Project in your name to help combat hunger in our community. And then you've heard a lot of history today. We're giving you a copy of our Las Vegas Rotary Club Centennial Celebration book from our 100-year. Can't believe it was 3 years ago. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm like doing this. Thank you. Thank you so much. We have a board meeting today. We are in a different room. We're behind the bar. Woohoo! We're at the Silver State Room. So that's where we're going to be. And to adjourn the meeting, by championing our small businesses, we help create a stronger, more vibrant Las Vegas community. Everyone have a wonderful holiday weekend. And with that, meeting adjourned.